It began with just one man, a warrior on horseback. In the wild, chaotic lands of 13th century Anatolia, where empires had crumbled and warlords battled for survival, a new force quietly emerged. His name was Osman, and though he ruled just a small tribe of nomads, his ambition was limitless. The year was 1299. As the mighty Seljuk Sultanate collapsed under Mongol pressure, Osman declared his own principality, independent, proud, and hungry. His dream? Not just to rule, but to conquer. And so began a journey that would stretch across 6 centuries and shape the world forever. From the ashes of ancient civilizations, the Ottoman Empire rose. A Muslim empire, a warrior empire, a global empire. Osman's son Orhan expanded the state, town by town, fortress by fortress. Then came Murad, and with him, the conquest of the Balkans. Europe began to tremble. In 1389, at the Battle of Kosovo, the Ottomans clashed with the Serbians. It was bloody, brutal, but it was only the beginning. The 15th century would bring a name that would haunt Christian Europe for generations: Mehmed the Conqueror. 1453, the year that changed the world. For over 1,000 years, Constantinople had stood tall, the last great remnant of the Roman Empire. Walls that had never been breached, a city thought to be untouchable, until Mehmed came, with cannons that shattered stone, with an army that would not retreat, with a will that would not break. In just 53 days, Constantinople fell, and from its ruins rose Istanbul, the new capital of the Ottoman world. But this was no ordinary victory. This was a turning point in history. East met West, Islam met Christianity, and a new era began. The Ottomans were now an empire, and they didn't stop. Under Suleiman the Magnificent, the empire reached its peak. Lawgiver, architect, conqueror. Suleiman ruled over more territory than Caesar or Alexander, from Hungary to Baghdad, from Algiers to Mecca. He reformed the legal system, patronized the arts, and led armies personally into battle. Under him, the Ottomans built mosques that touched the skies, palaces of unimaginable beauty, and fleets that dominated the Mediterranean. But the empire was not built on glory alone. It was built on bureaucracy, on alliances and betrayals, on janissaries trained from childhood, on merchants, scholars, and craftsmen from every corner of the empire. Christians, Jews, and Muslims lived under the same flag. Some called it tolerance, others control. The empire had many faces and many enemies. In 1529 and again in 1683, they reached the gates of Vienna, the heart of Europe. But those gates held. And slowly, the empire began to turn inward. By the 18th century, Europe surged ahead in science, industry, and military power. The Ottomans, once feared, began to stagnate. Corruption spread, territories broke away, and the empire that once dictated terms now signed treaties of surrender. They were no longer the thunder of the East. They were, as Europe called them, the sick man. Then came the final blow, World War I. In 1914, the Ottomans sided with Germany and the Central Powers. They hoped to reclaim their strength. Instead, they lost everything. The war devastated the empire. Armenians were massacred, Arabs rebelled, British and French forces invaded, and by 1918, the empire lay shattered. In 1922, the last Sultan, Mehmed VI, was forced into exile. 6 centuries of empire gone. But something new would rise. A man named Mustafa Kemal, later known as Ataturk, led a revolution. He abolished the Sultanate, founded the modern Republic of Turkey, and declared an end to the Ottoman era. But the echoes still remain. In the streets of Istanbul, in the mosques of Cairo, in the borders of the Middle East, in the memories of millions. The Ottomans may be gone, but their shadow still stretches across time. This is The Historian.